Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Bengal Magazine. And we are going outside today, and we're going to start with women's lacrosse. Meg Stevens, the head coach, is bringing along Carrie O'Donel, a senior from Lititz, Pennsylvania. I hope I have that right, Carrie. And then we're going outside again with softball, and Marie Curran joins us. Marie is bringing along Brieanna Brink, a senior from Kenmore and Sacred Heart. And then track and field steps up. Eugene Lewis, the head coach. Eugene's bringing along Jordan Fuentes, a senior from Avon, New York. And, of course, Samantha Thomas is here with Bengal updates. So we are going to take a short break. When we come back, let's talk lax. All right, we're going to talk a little lacrosse right now. We're talking warmth because the lights in the studio are warm and it's freezing outside. So they call this spring. I'm not sure. Meg Stevens joins us with Carrie O'Donel. And Meg, I think we've hit the halfway pole, if not a little further on the season, 9 games into it. Give us an analysis of where the Bengals are right now.
We're 6-3, so
Yep.
You can't complain with a record that shows you're 6-3. And we're continuing to get better every time we step on the field. So as far as from a coaching standpoint, yes, I always want to get better, but I'm happy with where we're at. I'm happy with where the team has come. I'm happy that they're really starting to work hard, and I'm happy that we're into SUNY play. It's nice to get into games, and it's a little bit easier to be a little bit more focused, both as the coaching staff and as a player, when you get into SUNY games.
Well, you mentioned that you're happy to be where you are. Was this kind of where you thought you'd be? Because this is a different team now this year than it has been in the last couple of years, probably for you.
I think what I've learned in 11 years is never expect anything when you're coaching college. You can't expect what it's going to look like or what it's going to be like. Right. Every year and every team is different. Right. And we just take what comes, and you take what comes and roll with it. Okay. And I'm really, really happy with our team right now. They are really starting to come together. We've had some leaders start to step up. And I think they're starting to get it. And it's just, again, it's a good focus time for us. Great.
And Carrie, are you sensing the same thing as a student athlete when you get on the field, that things are coming together and the progress is there?
Oh, definitely. I mean, we've been playing more as a team than we ever have, and that shows a lot. And winning games comes right after that. You got to play as a team first.
And winning breeds success and more success, etc. Let's talk about this young lady here from Lititz. Am I correct in that? Pennsylvania. I have no idea where Lititz, Pennsylvania is. And if you can call in right now within 5 seconds, I'll give you a prize. But first of all, where is Lititz, Pennsylvania, and how does one get to Buffalo State from this, I'm assuming, tiny town?
Yeah, very small. It's in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, Amish country.
Okay.
I got to Buffalo State, actually recruited at a tournament, and originally came here as a forensic chem major. Okay. Not a lot of schools have forensic chem, and it was a perfect opportunity to pair both things that I loved, the sciences, and then playing lacrosse. I'm now a physics major, but I loved being here with my team, loved the environment so much that I stayed.
Yeah.
Haven't regretted it.
And you're going to be about a year away from the science building, but that's another story. So anyways, but what did you see in Carrie when you recruited her? How did you find her?
Carrie was easy to find on the field, and a player that I knew I wanted to have here. For me, Carrie epitomizes what I'm looking for in a player. Okay. Carrie is a yes coach, no coach kind of player. And will do, when you tell her jump, she says how high, which has made her a starter and a leader her senior year. Okay. And she has worked through adversity. And there's something to be said with players that work through some of those tough times to get where you want to go. And Carrie epitomizes that. You want to talk about hard work. This kid is the epitome of what Buffalo State women's lacrosse should be all about.
Wow, that's fantastic. Did you give her $20 to say that?
Probably no.
Let me ask you something. I mean, I'm getting familiar with lacrosse. If you asked me 5 years ago about lacrosse, I would know nothing about it. But thanks to her, I know something about lacrosse. What is the objective? What is the role of a defender? You are a defender in lacrosse.
I mean, really, stop the ball.
Is it that easy, though, or are you concentrating on certain positions, or is it just stop the ball?
Oh, no, it's never just that easy. Okay. Being a defender it's very different than being an attacker. Mm-hmm. You need to work as a unit, and there's no other way that your defense will work unless every single part is doing their role. And playing as that unit and has definitely gone from just being the defensive end and kind of boiled over until the other onto the other parts
No,
too.
that makes perfect sense. Is she providing you that leadership that you said before on defense for you?
Very much. We're finally finding a cohesive defensive unit. Carrie has stepped up and does definitely a lead by example and just get the work done, which has been nice. And we've been toying with a lot of different defenses this year.
Well, you kind of lead into my next question. Are you still feeling things out and okay, maybe she's better here or there and this and that, or is it this is what we've got and we've got to go with it now?
I'm constantly adapting.
Still tinkering.
We're still tinkering with stuff, which I think is what, number one, it gives new things for our players to look forward to, kind of a new spin on it or a new drill or a new way to look at things. And we're still finding what works best for us. And I think that's okay. I think that's why you play non-league games first and then get into league games. You practice and you try to figure out. And just because we wanted to run it a certain way and it didn't work doesn't mean, okay, now we try something else. So we're doing it both offensively and defensively right now.
Did the trip to Florida help you in that regard? Was it nice to get out in some, well, relatively, I guess it wasn't really warm, but it was warmer than here. Does that help you on a trip like that?
It really, really does. I mean, we've come back from Florida. Now we've been inside for 3 days. I mean,
exactly.
So any opportunity to get outside and get a little bit of warm, and it's nice team time. Sure. We put together a nice trip and some good fun experiences, but even just living together and being together and just a good time in the year for the team just to get together and get to know itself.
You had mentioned conference play finally starting, and that's always nice. You kind of know your rivals. You almost know what to expect per se. We're trying to schedule the Brockport match, and because of the weather, who knows when that's going to be. But then next week is a very important homestand. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Actually, what we've been trying to do is not talk about our opponents.
Okay.
And one of the things, even in the schedule we sent out this year to the girls, it just says home game, away game. In the past, I think we've gotten too wrapped up in who we're playing. And that's an issue. And we've been playing the name, and we haven't been playing for us. This year, it's been much more of an us focus. It doesn't matter who we play. It doesn't matter whether they were, quote unquote, top in the SUNYAC last year or bottom in the SUNYAC this year. We need to go to win games. And I think as we're looking at Division III women's lacrosse in general and games in general, you're seeing this weird, people are beating teams that they're not supposed to be beating, and other teams are, and so I think it's less and less about the teams that we're playing, and more about us. We need to show up on game day. I need an offensive unit to work well. I need a defensive unit to work well, and we need to show up for 60 minutes. So it's not about who we play, it's about us.
Well, you may not mention them, but I will because we have about 20 seconds left. Next week, if you're looking for some terrific women's lacrosse, Oneonta's in town, Oswego's in town, Cortland's in town on Saturday. So come on out to Coyer Field to watch some terrific women's lacrosse. And guess what? It's absolutely free. Meg, Carrie, thanks for being on the show. Appreciate it. Best of luck trying to find a game with Brockport this weather.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick break. Oh, no, before we take a quick break, I do want to mention the Bengal Club Golf Tournament happening on July 8th, Monday, July 8th. At the Briarwood Country Club. The cost is $175 per player. Get your foursmans together, and all proceeds go to support student athletes like Carrie and 400 others like her here at Buffalo State. So July 8th, Monday, Briarwood Country Club. If you're interested, my phone number's on the board right there, 6514, or you can email me at the address given. So hope to see you on Monday, July 8th for the Bengal Club Golf Tournament. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, let's talk softball. Congratulations are going out to Brieanna Brink, the Tim Hortons Athlete of the Week, the senior health and wellness major, batted .556. That's 15 of 27 with 6 runs batted in and 10 runs scored. In the Bengals' 5-5 week, it was a 10-game week last week, so congratulations, Brieanna. She also added 3 extra base hits and 2 stolen bases and closed the week with hits in 6 consecutive games. And she currently leads the Bengals in average this season, batting .432. So again, congratulations to Brieanna Brink, this week's Tim Hortons Athlete of the Week. And guess what? We just happen to have Brieanna Brink as our guest, and she's smiling, so proud, along with Marie Curran, the head coach of the Bengals. And ladies, thanks for joining.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks.
7-7. We're about the halfway post, maybe not quite, of the season. How do things stack up right now, Coach? Is it kind of what you thought you'd be seeing right now?
Honestly, no.
Okay.
We expect a lot more of ourselves than we've been performing. We're not getting key hits in some games, and It's nice that Bree has really stepped up and is leading the team as well as she is offensively.
Right.
So it's allowing some people to figure out some little quirks in their swings and
Okay.
get ready for this weekend, which is a big one.
Well, I have to ask you then, where are you finding strengths per se that maybe you weren't thinking, and then what are the things that you're going to be working on over the last half of the season?
Really focusing more on pushing other teams offensively. So we want to focus on stealing more bases, really pushing extra base hits. So
Okay.
we're building confidence in a new running style that we have and being very aggressive. So that part is starting to come, and we knew that was going to come towards the end of the year. So we're excited about that development.
Did you notice this when you were down in Florida that, maybe we need to be more aggressive? Now I see what Coach Curran's talking about. Because, you're inside for a month, you don't go outside at all, and then all of a sudden you're in Florida and you're on a real diamond, and now you're playing softball again. So it must have been kind of an awareness piece for you being down there.
It was, but it wasn't. There were games that were really well played, and then there were games where we fought ourselves. But it was definitely really nice being out on dirt and not in a gym doing the same things over and over again.
No, I bet.
But we just have a lot to work on as a whole to get our group more cohesively together.
Well, let's talk about her a little bit because I don't know if she's a surprise or not, but she's doing great, and she's a senior. And I'm, when I research the show, I kind of go back in statistics, and last year you batted .259. This year you're batting .432, and I'm kind of wondering, has your time come? Do you feel like this is my time? I'm a senior. This is when I need to really showcase myself.
Fall was a big wake up for me, so I came back with a lot of fuel.
Really?
Fuel for my fire. Yes, I needed to step up. I want to be a leader. Most importantly, I want to help my team win in any way I can.
Okay.
Offensively, defensively, being a support system for the younger girls, being someone they can look up to, I think is really important as well.
Is this what you're expecting from Brieanna, or was this a surprise, or this is what you thought you'd get out of her?
It was a surprise in October when we had a heart-to-heart about her role and what we needed her to do. And she point blank said, I'm out to prove the world wrong.
Great.
And she's doing that.
And that doesn't happen very often, so congratulations to you. I'm trying to figure out, as I talk to Meg, is this still a feeling out process for you, Coach?
It was in Florida, and
Okay.
that's how we approached it with the team, that we're going to push the envelope even more for them to understand what the coaching staff expected. But also we had to figure out really who could play on dirt together. So you may have a gym team, but when we get outside, what's the communication going to happen? How are people going to react to other teams? It's great you can beat our own team, but can you beat an opponent?
Right.
So we did a lot of lineup moving around, and we feel like we found our groove and where we need to move forward. So.
A dirt team. I kind of like that. I want to use that for my 16U team. You guys need to be a good dirt team. Girls will look at me like, what are you talking about, Coach Tom? Well, since Brieanna is such a good hitter, and she, as you can tell, she has a bat with her, why don't we do a little demonstration? Because your forte is hitting too.
Yes.
You were an All-American. So, Brieanna, why don't you get up and maybe Coach can take our viewers through the fundamentals of good hitting in softball.
Well, the four things we focus on at Buff State, we start with the upper level where we'll discuss the girls' hands, and we'll talk a lot about their knocking knuckles being in place, because that's allowing girls to have a better wrist snap.
Okay.
We're not as strong as baseball players, so we have to focus on our wrist snap. Then we'll move down to a timing piece where we have some girls who do step and some girls who don't, but making sure that their timing is set and that their foot's in a good position. Now, Bree, we're lucky, for an example, is a stepper, so she does take a stride when she gets ready. So when she's getting in her set position and she's getting ready, she puts her foot down, and now she's ready to fire. So when we're talking about the fire part, we talk about their hips. So her upper body stays locked, and her hips are going to rotate first to get her momentum moving forward. And then
she's got weight on the back to begin with? Is that
she's
a fundamental, natural fundamental?
Yeah, we shift back. Some girls, 70% of their weight would go back. Most are probably 60 right now.
Okay.
Bree's probably a 70% shift because she does a really good job with it. So after she steps and she starts to rotate towards the ball, then she's extending her hands to get her bat head to the ball. And with the team, we don't talk about hands. I think it's something girls are taught at a young age, that their hands go to the ball. Well, if you do that, your hands are over home plate. So our coaching staff talks about the bat head to the ball. because
Okay.
that's what you want to hit with. And then once they get their bat head to it, it's how far can they extend, and we overemphasize the push through back out where you want to hit the ball. And that's where we're seeing a lot of our extra base hits because our team finishes their swing.
Okay.
And Bree's done a phenomenal job adding that to her repertoire this year.
Well, I'm noticing that you're not mentioning what we would consider in baseball a hand flipping over.
Yes.
So you don't mention that
No.
in softball.
No, we talk a lot to the girls about their top hand on the bat. And their hand, what you'll see is their top two fingers going to the ball. And that's where we emphasize. So you see on Bree, when she's going extend, she's thinking about these two fingers going through, and that's her extension.
How about that?
So for us, it's more of a wrist snap because we're not strong enough upper body as
Okay.
baseball players are.
Have a seat, Brieanna.
So that's
Interesting.
something we work on.
Now, with her, is there a little different technique than with a power hitter? I'm assuming you're not a power hitter, right?
And
Never have been.
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
And actually, I don't think there is because in softball, if you're compact in a swinger, which is you're providing your power from your core, then any of us can be a power hitter. Our leading home run hitter on our team is 5'1".
How about that?
And it's because she's making great contact and extension when she's hitting line drives.
Okay.
I'm much more, we talk to the girls about line drive hitting, and if it's a good line drive, it's going to go over the fence. We're not looking for 300-foot fly balls because anybody can catch fly balls.
Has this been difficult for you to absorb? She has her own style and pitching and technique of teaching. Has it been difficult for you to absorb, or has it come relatively easy to you?
The way she explains things is in a way that we can understand it. So it's kind of caught on easy for me, just because she breaks it down so well that if you don't understand it,
Okay.
you can just work with her and she'll take the time to explain it better or in a different way
Okay.
to help you understand it more.
And overall, has it been have the ladies absorbed what you're trying to teach them, or is this still redundancy? Keep teaching the same things.
I don't think so because we try not to teach the same things. And to add the reasoning behind that, we pick certain things that girls are going to be better at first. So we don't teach all 4 or 5 techniques of our swing at once.
Right.
We'll pick what they need to fix first and then go from there. Like we had what we refer to as the light bulb yesterday. One of our better hitters, we finally got her to fix her grip because we had to fix other things. So we left her hands alone because we knew it would have been a battle.
Oh.
And instead, we waited until yesterday and we're like, okay, now just try something for me.
Right.
And she tried it, and 2 swings later, there were big, bright eyes like,
I get
when
it,
did
Coach.
that happen? Yeah, and it was, we knew the timing had to be at a certain point.
Wow.
We couldn't throw all 5 things at her at once.
Well, I find it amazing that being an old baseball guy myself, and in our talks, when I started coaching softball, I thought, sure, piece of cake, but there's so many differences, the variances, especially hitting from baseball and softball. So that's been a great demonstration, and thanks so much for doing that for us. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Ladies, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
Best of luck the rest of the season. We are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little track and field. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Samantha Thomas with this week's Bengal Update. Buffalo State center fielder Brieanna Brink was named the Conference Softball Player of the Week after collecting 15 hits in a 10-game week for the Bengals. The senior health and wellness major posted a .556 batting average with 6 RBI and 10 runs scored, leading the Bengals to a 5-5 record. She added 3 extra base hits, stole 2 bases, and closed the week with hits in 6 consecutive games. She currently leads the Bengals with a .432 batting average. The Bengals host Oswego on Friday, April 5th for a doubleheader starting at 3, and then take on visiting Cortland in a doubleheader the following day. First pitch is noon. The Bengals host Rochester on April 9th for a doubleheader starting at 3. For the second consecutive week, Buffalo State athletes captured 3 of the 4 weekly track and field awards in the conference. Jasmine Dunham and Bumquith Giok claimed the Women's and Men's Track Athlete of the Week, and Jordan Fuentes won the Men's Field Athlete of the Week. Dunham, a junior health and wellness major, ran a leg of the winning 4x100 meter relay at the Embry Classic in Atlanta with a time of 47.01 seconds, the fastest in Division III this season. Dunham also won the 100 meter hurdles at 14.42 seconds, the 5th best time in the nation. She was second in the 200 meter dash in 24.98 seconds, the 3rd best time in the nation. Giac, a freshman fine arts major, set a school record and had a pair of second-place finishes. He set the school mark in the 1,500 meters, racing to the third fastest time in Division III this season at 3:56.3. He also set the second in the 800-meter run at 1:52.88. Fuentes, a senior business major, won a pair of events and broke the 32-year-old school record in the shot put. Fuentes won the shot put with a throw of 15.49 meters, breaking Mike Johnson's mark of 15.44 meters set in 1981. The throw was the 15th best in Division III this season. Fuentes also claimed first in the discus with a mark of 45.96 meters. Finally, women's lacrosse is home to face Oneonta on Saturday, April 6th at noon, returns home on Tuesday, April 9th to face Oswego at 4, and then host Cortland on Saturday the 13th at 1. That'll do it for this edition of Bengal Update. I'm Samantha Thomas. Back to you, Tom.
Thanks a lot, Sam, for that update. And we're going to talk a little track now. Eugene Lewis, the head coach of the track and field Bengals, along with senior Jordan Fuentes. And welcome, gentlemen. Well, it's been a little bit since some great news has happened. Let's go back a couple weeks to the NCAA's Indoor Track and Field Championships, and we had some great news, didn't we?
Absolutely. We had 4 individuals compete, 2 men and 2 women, and for the women's program. For those who don't know, it goes off a scoring system, and our women's finished 9th, which is 9th out of 56 competing schools.
Absolutely.
So we're extremely happy with just the overall representation at the meet.
Yep.
Obviously, we followed that up, during that time, we also established another national champion in Sasha Henry.
Yeah, you say it so calmly, so I'm going to shout it out a little bit. Sasha Henry, a national champion, and you said another. This is getting to be. First of all, let's talk about Sasha's performance. Everything you thought would happen down there happened?
Absolutely. From the first meet in December, Sasha was ranked number 1 in the country.
Yep.
There was a moment there where some other young ladies who she's been competitors with over the last few years kind of came along and made it competitive, but she was the number 1 ranked sprinter pretty much all indoor season.
And you say another one. I mean, this is almost getting to be old hat, bringing home national champions. I believe this is our 3rd or 4th in the last 5 years. Help me out.
Actually, a 6 in 5 years.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So the state of the program, it's out there, nationally known. People are listening and paying attention.
Yeah, the biggest thing is that, from our perspective, the facilities that we have, the competitions that we go to is a major draw for some of these athletes, and they realize that they're going to get the competition that's required to be great.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the big draw for our program right now.
Right, and it sounds like there's more in the hopper, as they say. Jordan Fuentes joins us, and this guy did something that no one's done in 32 years, Coach Lewis. He broke the shot put record here at Buffalo State down at the Emory Invitational in Atlanta. And Jordan, tell us about that throw and that record. Was it something that when you came here you saw, okay, I think I could get that done by the time I'm a junior or senior? Tell us about the throw and the record.
I definitely thought it's something I could work towards to. It would be a process. Shot put wasn't my best event, but I knew if I continually worked hard and critiqued my technique that I could have it someday. That throw specifically, I guess it's hard to say with throwing. Sometimes you just know when it's going to be a good throw.
Right.
And as soon as I released it, I knew it was going. I didn't know how far it was going to go, but it just went, and I was able to break the record.
Kind of like a good jump shot in basketball. As soon as you release it, you know it's going in. But you had mentioned it's really the discus, I'm assuming then, would be the sport of choice for you?
Yes.
The throw of choice?
Yes,
okay.
Definitely.
And you took first down there with a throw of 45.96. So why is discus a favorite over the shot?
Not sure. Just in high school, it's just what I preferred to practice. I liked it more.
Okay.
So I put most of my time into discus, and then when I came to college, I didn't want to be mediocre in shot.
Sure.
I wanted to be good at both events and help the team out.
Yeah.
Scoring more than one event. So
we always talk about the jumpers, and we talk about the sprinters with Buffalo State, and that's probably going to be there, and that's fantastic. And what we're now starting to talk about are the field events. Guys like Jordan coming through the system, and Nick Fresco, who took a 2nd and a 4th down in Atlanta. And all of a sudden, you've got something else to build on.
Absolutely. And one of the big things is these guys are a model of perseverance. They've been in the program for a while. They help recruit. They're tremendous leaders, not only within their event group, but within the team.
Right.
And I think the rest of the team are beginning to support them, and you're seeing the progress.
And these are points, got about 30 seconds left. These are points that can be used in meets as we look at conference championships and even going to the nationals.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things that we definitely expect.
Right.
Jordan has the expectation of making it to the nationals.
Just another notch for track and field. Congratulations, Jordan, on breaking that 32-year-old shot put record here at Buffalo State. And Coach, keep it going.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for being on the show. That's going to wrap it up for this edition of Bengal Magazine. Thanks to everybody who was on the show and the great folks here in Instructional Resources. We'll see you in 2 weeks for more Bengal Magazine.